Good morning, family. So, after I posted that one video to where, my account was placed on restriction again for unusual activity, which is kind of like what I figured. So, I'm going to show you something. You see all these binders behind me, and this is just a small assortment. I have plenty of things to do other than be on Facebook or any of these other websites. Again, I just share information, but I have back here behind me and over there a whole bunch of binders, and this is the genealogical research that I've been doing. I have all of these study projects that I have pages for, and I'm trying to spend my last days taking this work that my dad did, project he started called the Bible with Complexion. And when I talk about doing the work of my father, that's what I'm talking about. And it's branched off into a lot of different uh, indigenous studies of our ancestry from Akuria, which was a medieval Christian kingdom in what is today considered the Sudan, genealogy going back to our ties to ancient Egypt, in particular the family of Ramesses III. There's some groups that not just Lumbee, but there are direct connections to some of the so-called Cherokee, which I really refer to more so as the old settlers. Um, I can't remember the word what they were called, but the Cherokee, there's no such thing as really a Cherokee or especially not a full blood Cherokee, because they didn't become Cherokee until the the Scots came over and um, miscegenated with the population. The Yeah, and when I talk about Wiki Tree, for those of you that are in the genealogy, it's a good site for referencing and cross referencing. But what I've had to explain to some of the family that talk about the Cherokee, well, you're using the wrong name for one, and you're only going to have a small percentage. The key is tracing your matrilineal DNA through your maternal, through your mom, through your or your father's mother's side, the matrilineal line, because most indigenous clans or families were matrilineal. Uh, and I think I may have shared it before, or I've kept that to myself. But my grandmother's name, last name is Clipper. Her mother's name, last name was Ross from Texas. Her father's name was Ross. The one before him was Ross. And who was that? Oh, Daniel Ross, the brother of Chief John Ross. So I've had people tell me that certain people don't exist. That's like if you go to and check the history of the Powhatan, when you get back to Chief Moitoy, Amatoya, they'll tell you that he didn't exist and his family didn't exist. Well, where did Pocahontas come from? You know, this is that cultural erasure thing. So they try to deny who we are, and y'all already know what I'm talking about. So that we just don't know, so that we don't get a good idea of how we're all connected. Um, what's worse is these people that will say that, oh, I'm half Indian, or oh, I'm we was here. I was here before the well, basically, I don't have ancestry from Africa. Until you take that DNA test, then you're going to deny your results, especially when you get about 25% Yoruba, which is from the Soninke and Great Benin, the Yoruba, the Oyo Confederation. Because what was going on is after actually before 1492, there was a lot of warfare that was going on between the Oyo and internally with the Songhai dynasty. And some of the first slave ships started coming out around the time that the infighting was going on amongst the what did I say? Amongst the Songhai. So when you take a African-based DNA test, they'll tell you, "Oh, your maternal haplogroup is L3." Yeah, you have L3, but there's some H in there. There's some other stuff in there. It's really kind of mixed. And the point is, for those of you that are like in the Lumbee group, um, a lot of you, your maternal haplogroup is going to be H in there somewhere in some percentages, and haplogroup H is common to North Africans, some Central Africans, some Europeans. You're gonna find that, like in my family's case, there's a mix of Persian and Makurian, because they was Christians. They were, many of them, before the advent of Islam. They were part of the Church of the East, and they confederated all those groups: the Syrians, Palestinians, the the Nubians, the Christians, the African Christians above Egypt, even the Copts, the Armenian. I think I said the Armenians. And if you look at, for example, the Sasanian period in Persia, they had one of the queens that was a Christian queen. Her name was Shirin. She's one of the most revered women in Iranian Persian history. So even when the family of the Prophet Muhammad and some of the Jewish patriarchs around that time, they took women that had Persian ancestry that were Christian, or they converted to. So all of those ties. So when people talk about Hezbollah and some of these other groups, they don't really realize that those are interfaith communities. Or they realize it, but they're trying to keep us especially. And see, this is the whole irony, is that for many of the people here in the West that consider themselves Christian, I mean, the money that you're going to support and fund these wars, especially against the Palestinians, a large part of which are some of the original Christians, and then Palestinian Jews mixed with Ethiopian Jews. These are the earliest people that converted to Christianity. In Syria, why they go into Syria, mess up Syria? That was a secular government that they toppled over there in Syria for the most part. Yeah, everybody is, according to them, is a dictatorship or a dictator. What about these autocrats and these oligarchs that are running this country here? Let me stop. Peace.